Hi everybody, welcome back to The Seasoned Vegan. Today we are going to be making a carrot cake with cream cheese frosting. Here it is. Doesn't that look amazing? All right, I'm going to teach you how to make it. So here we go. This carrot cake is made with sugar, obviously, but you could probably take the sugar out and use something like date syrup or agave or maple syrup. And then we also have soy milk, carrots, obviously, oil, applesauce, vanilla extract, and flour, excuse me. And then in these containers here, we have some spices. That's ground ginger, cinnamon, and nutmeg. This is salt. And then right there, we have baking powder and baking soda. Okay, so those are the ingredients for the carrot cake. The batter, that is. And now I'm going to show you the ingredients for the cream cheese frosting. So for the cream cheese frosting, I'm using a vegan cream cheese. That's the Miyoko's brand. Also some powdered sugar and some butter that is slightly softened. I took it out of the fridge maybe like 30 minutes ago. And then some vanilla extract. That's the cream cheese frosting. So we'll get to that later. The first step, though, is to grate our carrots for our batter. So I went ahead and I sped it up because this is such a tedious and time-consuming process. Ugh. But there we go. Grate it all up. That is it. And I will put all of the measurements in the description below for you guys if you're craving a carrot cake. All right, so the next step is to whisk together all of our dry ingredients first. So I'm putting the flour, and I like to sift it just so that, it makes my cake consistency a little better. So there we go. We got our flour in there. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add in my baking soda and my baking powders. And my recommendation to you is to measure out everything before you get going. That's like the easiest way to bake and to cook, is kind of like get everything set, measure everything out, and then just throw it all together. That's just how I like to do it. So I hope that helps some of you as well. So I threw in my salt there, and now I'm going in with all of my spices. The nutmeg, the cinnamon, and the ground ginger. And let me tell you, when this was baking in the oven, oh my gosh, it smelled so good because of those spices there. Okay, so now we're going to go in with 2 types of sugar. I have just plain white sugar and brown sugar as well. And I went in with a cup of each, but I do believe that you could probably take that down to half a cup each because it was quite a sweet cake, and I don't think it needs to be that sweet, especially if you're someone that is trying to cut down on sugar. I think there's definitely room to cut down on the sugar in this one. I'm also curious, for those of you that are sugar-free, if anyone tries this without sugar or with something like date syrup instead, to see how that works for you. I'm curious. I am, now that I'm baking and cooking more, I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe we can cut down on the sugar a little bit here. But, it's a process. So if you have any like crumbly pieces of brown sugar, not crumbly, I mean hard, just go ahead and crumble them up. You could also throw your brown sugar in the microwave for like 10 to 30 seconds, and that helps soften everything up so that you get a more even consistency with that sugar in there. Anyway, once you're done putting your sugars in and it's all whisked together with the rest of the dry ingredients, then you're going to go ahead and add in your wet ingredients. So that includes the soy milk. By the way, you can use any other type of plant-based milk. You could do oat milk, almond milk, cashew milk, doesn't really matter. But you're going to put in the milk, the oil, and your applesauce. Okay, so there we go. And I'm pretty sure we also are adding some vanilla extract to this as well. So we'll get that going. And then my biggest tip to you when making this cake is to not over mix. When you're mixing, you want to use something gentle like a spatula, and you want to mix it as gently as possible and for as little time as possible, because that's going to help your cake become more fluffy. If you over mix it, you will probably get a denser cake. And that's not really what you want. So like I said, just go very gently, go slowly. And it's okay if you still see some flour in your mixture. Like, don't feel the need to get all that flour incorporated. Just get it to where it's just incorporated, if that makes any sense. And I'm not going to edit out any of this mixing process or speed it up so you can see exactly how I do it, okay? Just like that. We're just kind of gently mixing it, and then when it comes to the grated zucchini, or I'm not zucchini, I've got zucchini bread on the mind. When it comes to the carrot, we're just going to fold it in. So again, I'm going to show you. So here we go. And I ended up just using all of that carrot. I don't know why I had a measuring cup out. I just threw it all in, and it might look like a lot, but it really like melts into the cake. It's so phenomenal. This is about 3 cups of grated carrot, which was 3 medium-sized carrots, if that helps you out a little bit, just to give you some reference. So now we're just folding in these carrots here. And I don't know if you noticed, but I did use like the smaller setting, or the smaller side of my grater when I was grating my carrots, because I did want them to be very, very like finely shredded carrots so that they really melt into the batter. Okay, so here is how I'm mixing in my carrots. I'm not going too hard, I'm being very gentle, and I'm just trying to get it all incorporated, but not too much. It's kind of like a delicate balance here. So that looks about right to me. Now it's time to prepare our cake pans, and I am using 2 circular cake pans, and they are 9 inches across. And I went ahead and I sprayed some vegetable oil into both of them so that my cake wouldn't stick to the bottom. You could also put a circle of parchment paper on the bottom if you wanted, but I didn't have any issue getting them out, so this should work just fine for you. So you're going to put half of the batter into one pan and then the other half into the other pan. And instead of using your spatula to spread it all out, I'm going to show you how to just like kind of shake your pan a little bit to get everything evenly like spread out in the pan. So I'll show you that once we get all of the batter into this pan here. And just a heads up, you're going to be preheating your oven to 350 degrees. And both of these cake tins are going to cook for 40 minutes. So here's how you just kind of shake it around. That way it doesn't get all dense, by you like touching it. You're just kind of using gravity and some motion to get it all in order. So there we go. Perfect. It looks like I got a little bit more cake in one, but that's totally fine. It's all going to be frosted in the end anyway. So there we go. Beautiful. And now we're going to put it into our oven, like I said, at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So here we go. In it goes. Absolutely delicious. And when I say it smelled like heaven in my kitchen, I mean it. It was so stinking good. It smelled like fall. It smelled like kind of the holiday season. I love it. Even though the holidays aren't here. It's not even Halloween yet, but I'm already looking forward to it. Okay, so here is the part of the recipe that's going to take the most patience from you, okay? Because before you frost your carrot cake, it needs to cool completely, especially if you're using a cream cheese frosting, okay? So here I'm kind of just making sure that the cake is completely done. I stuck my skewer in there and it came out clean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just leave both cake tins here and I'm going to let them cool completely. You could even throw them into the fridge, maybe after like 20 minutes of cooling, throw them into the fridge so that they really get cool to the touch, because you cannot put frosting on the cakes when they're still warm, or else the frosting will just completely fall apart. That's because cream cheese frosting is pretty unstable when it comes to temperature. So once you do frost your cake, this is a cake that's going to want to stay in the fridge, or else you will get some slippage, as in like the top layer of the cake would slip off the bottom layer when the cream cheese starts to kind of melt. So keep that in mind. This is not a cake to take with you to like an outdoor event or to serve at like an outdoor party. It's a cake that wants to stay in the fridge until you like cut a slice and then you enjoy. But just a little top tip for you. Now we are going to whip up our our frosting. So I don't think I showed it, but I whipped up well, first I creamed the butter for about, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute. And then I put in my cream cheese and I creamed that together with the butter for another minute. Okay. And then I put in the vanilla extract, which you saw. And then the last step is to just put in the powdered sugar, like a cup at a time, and whisk as you go. And I'm using my handheld mixer here, but it would truly be so much easier to use a stand mixer. So use that if you have it. But if you don't, then a hand mixer works just as well. And if you think that the frosting is a little too runny to frost your cake with, then throw it into the freezer for like 15 minutes. Take it out of the freezer, mix it together, throw it back in the freezer if it needs more time, and that'll be just great for it. You could also put it in the fridge for a little bit. Okay, so now that my cakes are completely cool to the touch, and I mean like completely cool, we're gonna take them out of their little trays here, and we're gonna get to the frosting process. So let me move one of these cakes aside, and we will frost the bottom layer first. So what you want to do is put half the frosting on this bottom piece and then the other half on the top. And I do recommend putting, a good amount of frosting on the bottom layer so that you get that nice layer in the middle of your cake. It's very, very tasty that way, like a nice thick layer of cream cheese frosting right in between those two layers of cake. So good. So here we go. That's the first one all frosted. And yeah, just make sure that you put it in the fridge when you're done frosting it so it can all set. There we go. But yeah, that's just the thing about cream cheese frosting. It is kind of unstable when it comes to heat. But something like a buttercream frosting, that one you would be able to leave it like on the counter. It wouldn't have to go into the fridge, just based on the ingredients that are in there. So here we are. Now we're in the last step of this, which is topping the cake with the frosting. Here we go. That looks so good. And the cream cheese that I used, the Miyoko's brand, I really, really liked it. I typically use Oatly cream cheese for my baking, but I wasn't able to find it this time. So I had to sample the Miyoko's cream cheese and I really liked it. The cream cheese on its own it's really creamy and it has this really sharp tang to it, which I really, really like, especially with crackers. I think it's so good. But it did work pretty well as a frosting. I will say that the Oatly cream cheese does hold up better to heat than this Miyoko's cream cheese. I have to look at the ingredients to see why, but that's just something I noticed. So my advice to you would be to find the Oatly cream cheese if you can. If not, then the Miyoko's cream cheese is a happy alternative. It'll work just as well. I do recommend, though, not using tofuti cream cheese if you can find it, because I have tried baking with that one in the past and it just always kind of slips and falls apart. So that's just a little tip for you. If you happen to be using tofuti for your baking and you're not having problems, also let me know, because maybe I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. So any advice is welcome. We can all help each other make even better dishes. So here we go. Here is a slice. Look at that. It's fluffy and light, it's moist, and it's creamy and tangy and spiced. You guys, it is such a good cake. There it is, carrot cake with the cream cheese frosting, vegan style. So go ahead and make this if you're craving a carrot cake. It is absolutely phenomenal. And just remember to keep it in the fridge. But yeah, there you guys go. Hope you enjoy, and I can't wait to see you next time. Have a great week or weekend or whatever it is for you. Okay, bye.